Hey, Shalom, I'm back from my trip, back on Shofar Mountain, and the intro was to show you why I was ready to come back. I really enjoyed my time. I really enjoyed who I spent it with. They do not wish to be on camera or on video, so I'm not going to talk about them. But what I wanted to talk to you about was my experiences. And we just had to come follow me. My experiences while I was out there. Excuse me. Well, first of all, I felt like a country mouse in the city because I was in a city. I was in a suburb. And I've lived in suburbs before. You know, it's not like I don't know anything about suburb living. And I also was able to take advantage of some of the things that come with being in or around a suburb. Yeah, I put it on a tree, so there's a little stump there. But it'll hold the camera. I didn't bring my tripod. But one thing I noticed right away was there are just people in society who don't want to get ahead. They just don't. They want to walk around in scrubby clothes. Uh-oh, kind of like me. They don't want to work, and they want to wander around. And the place I was pretty darn cold, too, so it can't be super comfortable. They also want to walk around in a state of non-reality. Because in the state I was in, drugs are illegal. And so there were people who were obviously on drugs as they wandered around. And they want to stay in that non-reality. And everyone has a right to do that as long as it's legal, in my opinion. But that's just not me. I want to be in a state of reality. And so it was incongruous for me to see them and notice how they were interacting with their world because they really weren't interacting with the world. They were in their own little world, and as long as they were with each other and talking to each other, that's their world. As far as I could see, they didn't care about anything bigger than them. And maybe that's a happy place to be. It's just not where I want to be. Where I want to be is where you see on the videos. I want to be out here. This is my jam. This is where I find myself the calmest. There's enough here to keep my intellect engaged, watching and noticing things, and then planning for better things like watching and noticing the wildlife, the plants. I recently cut some little trees down in an area where we have moss. And I noticed the moss was a little different today, so I thought maybe the cutting the trees down affected the moss, and I was able to look where moss is growing more effectively and to, you know, make a mental note. Do I want to clear it out? Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. At least it's strange to me that we're subtropical, and yet look, we have this lovely layer of moss that's helping break this tree down. And so I want to disturb where I live the least amount. And that's something that keeps my mind engaged. And also to notice the temperature, the weather, the leaves on the trees or not, dried fruit that's fallen to the ground or not. And to observe all of that and then make plans for the next year to be different, better, more effective, and also for future building projects, where, when, how, what's needed, etc. So that's my morning. I got back here, had to get right back into it. I have dishes to wash, I have bills to pay, and not a lot of time before the Shabbat comes, so I've kind of got to work it. But I just wanted to share with you my view of my life, and hope that your view of your life is something that makes you contented as well. So one thing I did this morning, I went to that pool with individual containers and filled them with water so that I could fill this container, which is a bit larger, and put them by my goats, because they do have water in their troughs, but I'd like to have a supply ready. So I filled several of those containers, and then I will take the bottle down to the goat area and I will deposit it there. And that's the kind of thing I do on a daily basis. Wow, my hand is shaking. All right, there. Let me get you steady before I sign off again. All right, bless you. Shalom.